When I look back on that chapter of our lives, I see now how the smallest, most ordinary moments can quietly reroute the course of everything we are. Back then, it didn't feel like a turning point. It was just another quiet Sunday evening in our modest Ohio home. The sun was melting into the horizon, spilling gold and lavender across the windows, the kind of colors that make you pause without realizing why. The kind that whisper peace before the world remembers its noise again. None of us could have imagined that what began as a simple act, a back massage offered without thought, would become the start of something far more profound. It had been 3 years since grief hollowed out the center of our family. The sharpness of it had dulled, but the emptiness lingered, like an echo you learned to live beside. The dinner table always had one chair too many. No one said it, but we all noticed the way my mother's eyes drifted there sometimes, unfocused. She carried the loss quietly, as if determined to hold the world together by sheer will. By day, she worked long hours at the library, smiling for everyone else. By night, she returned home, her body heavy with exhaustion, her heart still trying to be both mother and father. That evening, she sat on the couch, her shoulders curved inward, fatigue pooling around her like a shadow. My younger brother was at the dining table, pencil tapping against his math homework, while I scrolled aimlessly through my phone, both of us orbiting her silence. Then, out of the corner of my eye, I caught it, the small wince as her hand brushed her neck, the kind of pain she'd never admit aloud. Something in me tightened. "You're back again?" I asked softly. She smiled, that gentle, tired smile, and shook her head. "It's nothing." But it wasn't nothing. It never was. It was years of carrying too much, of lifting, reaching, giving more than her body or her heart should have to bear. "Let me help," I said before I could stop myself. "Maybe a massage will ease it?" She laughed it off at first, embarrassed by the thought, but I pressed her. "Just a few minutes, Mom. You deserve at least that." Reluctantly, she turned around. My hands hesitated at first, unsure, clumsy. But I remembered the way Dad used to do this for her, how she would close her eyes, lean back, and let her breath soften. I tried to mimic that memory, my palms moving slowly over the tight muscles of her shoulders. Her response was immediate. A long, trembling exhale that sounded like something deeper than relief. It was the sound of a burden loosening its grip. Years of silence, of strength worn thin, seemed to spill out in that single breath. My brother abandoned his homework and wandered over, curious. "Can I try?" he asked, his grin lopsided but genuine. And so, with awkward teamwork and mismatched rhythm, the three of us laughed our way through it. It must have looked ridiculous, but in that ridiculousness, something real broke open. Laughter filled the room, bright and alive, echoing off walls that had held too much quiet. That night, the house felt different, warmer, lighter. The massage wasn't just comfort, it was communion. It was a language of love that didn't need words. From that night on, it became a ritual. Every Sunday evening, the living room turned into our sanctuary. Sometimes she would massage our hands while we worked on her shoulders. Other nights, we'd talk about nothing and everything. School, memories, fragments of the past, fragile dreams we barely dared to name. Those Sundays became sacred. They weren't about rest. They were about repair. About stitching back the unseen tears that grief had left behind. Each touch, each shared laugh, each story became a thread, weaving us closer together, reminding us that healing doesn't come all at once. It comes in the small, unremarkable moments when love chooses to stay. And though the loss never vanished, it softened. It stopped feeling like a wound and started feeling like a place we'd grown around. What we didn't realize then was that our little ritual, born out of exhaustion and tenderness, would reach far beyond our walls. Because love, when it's offered quietly, without reason or reward, has a way of echoing outward. It ripples through time, through hearts, through generations, long after the hands that gave it have finally rested.